The men of the 2nd and 5th Ranger Battalions had a difficult mission in the Allied invasion of Normandy. The men of the Rangers were carefully selected and arduously trained. The Rangers were given responsibility to attack a promontory called Pointe. The heavily fortified position was the highest point between Utah Beach to the west and Omaha Beach to the east. Three companies of the 2nd Rangers were to land first, landing at the base of the cliff before daylight and using ladders to scale the cliff and take the position. If they were successful in capturing the point, they would be followed by the remaining two companies of the 2nd Rangers and the entirety of the 5th Ranger Battalion. The goal was to destroy the guns and capture the casemates so that they could not be used by the Germans, and then move inland to the village of Grand Camp. But the initial assault did not go as planned. In the choppy water, the boats drifted off course. By the time the error was corrected, the attack was 40 minutes behind, and the remaining Rangers, having gotten no signal, had already been sent to land at Omaha Beach. The Rangers took Point to Hawk and tracked down and disabled the guns there, which had been moved. But now they were alone, cut off from support, and the Germans began engaging in determined counterattacks. They had trouble getting through by radio, and when they did, were told that no reinforcements were available. The relief would have to fight their way up from Omaha Beach. But the landings that day had gone so badly that Lieutenant General Omar Bradley, commander of the First Army, had considered evacuating Omaha Beach. Only a single platoon of the 5th Rangers managed to sneak through to reinforce the Rangers at the point. The Rangers faced counterattacks all night, and by morning had been driven back to a narrow strip about 200 yards deep and 500 yards wide. Less than 100 Rangers were fit for combat by morning. They were out of food and low on ammunition. Counterattacks the morning of the 7th compelled commanders to keep 4 of the 6 Ranger companies behind to hold the perimeter. The remainder tried to get to the Rangers on the point, accompanied by 10 tanks. They made it within 1,000 yards of the point, but artillery forced the tanks to retire. The Rangers called in their own artillery, but a rumor of a counterattack finally halted the advance. And the Rangers on the point had to spend another night of counterattacks, wearing down men who had not slept for 2 days. By the morning of June 8th, the Germans were preparing for a final counterattack, assuming the Rangers would be finally overrun. But relief was on its way, starting with the bombardment of the German position with 140 5-inch rounds from the Gleaves-class destroyer USS Ellison. But they had more difficulty. The Rangers had been fighting with captured German weapons, and men of the 116th Infantry, hearing the distinctive noise of the German guns, attacked. 4 Rangers were killed and 3 injured before a recognition flare stopped the friendly fire. Pointe du Hoc was secured, and the Rangers finally relieved on June 8th. D-Day, +2.